Hello and welcome viewers to this segment where we talk to different political parties in the state in an attempt to try to get to know them better. Joining us today is veteran leader of Indian National Congress, Mr. Ronnie V. Lingdo, who is a former legislator of Milim constituency and he's also the sitting MDC in the KHADC. Thank you for joining us, sir. Right out of the bat, Ronnie, first of all, if you can just tell us, the Indian National Congress has been in the political scenario in the nation for many years now, since its inception. But many people don't know what the political ideology of your party is. If you can just tell us, what is the political ideology?
Political ideology of the Indian National Congress is, as enshrined in the Constitution, we believe in socialist, secular, democratic republic. And our ideology is respect all faiths, respect all languages, respect all cultures, and we believe in inclusivity. We will not exclude any community or any Indian just because of the difference in religion, difference in language, difference in culture. That is the ideology of the Congress, and then to ensure that prosperity economically, socially for the people of India, without any favor, without any discrimination against any community, be it the majority community, the Dalits, the tribal. That is the ideology of the Congress.
Right. But also, now that the elections are coming, one question that looms over every citizen of this state is, what is your party prospect in the upcoming elections?
You see, that is part of the electoral process. Okay. Unfortunately, I think the people should realize, if not all, most of them who join politics, now it has been exposed. They're not there, exclusively for the people. They are there for other reasons, which is, we are very obvious. Okay. Just because you are not in the ruling, and then, in a democracy, you need both the ruling and the opposition. But don't worry, now we have new young faces, people your age, qualified people, I believe, who have that motive to serve the people, and then to really serve the people and ensure that there is prosperity, there is peace, there is a rule of law here. Like the present government, the rule of law, the law is completely broken down. There is lawlessness in the state. Practically, there's no one to, check the performance of the ruling dispensation now.
Right. Talking about the, exit of the different legislators from your party, we have seen that, over the course of these 5 years, the party, your grand old party, suffered major setback after all your legislators left the party. Some were even calling it the downfall of the Congress. What do you have to say about that?
I think in a way, you can more or less say it's divine intervention that all those people, who have, some of them have outlived their utility. Now we have young, fresh faces, qualified people, people who come join politics with the idea, with the, with the dedication to serve the state and ensure that, there is hope, especially for the young generation like you. Now the young generation, young people like you are frustrated. So let us create hope, let us create opportunities for them. That is what politics is all about. Politics is not about, serving your self-interest, serving your family's interest, serving your relatives' interest. No, it is serving the interest of the entire state, especially, the marginalized, the youth.
But you also, you've already touched on this next question already, but briefly if you can tell us about the candidates that you'll be fielding in the upcoming elections.
Now we have invited application, and then we're looking that nobody is tainted. Tainted in the sense, you've got, cases against you, criminal or otherwise, and then we look at, their antecedents, whether they've, been active socially, politically, and then we're looking at the age profile, we're looking at the qualification, because this is serious business. We are going to elect lawmakers, we are going to elect policy makers. We're not going, this is not a platform, to further their business or to further their, business activity. No, this is about concern the state, This is about, to have the right kind of policies, to have the right kind of laws, and then supported by budgetary support, so that we can take the development of the state forward. Like I said, be it health, education, economic opportunities, and then opportunities for the youth.
So also if you can tell us, see, many people say that elections are fought through issues. So what are the key issues that you will be going to the voters with? What are the key issues in your manifesto that you will highlight?
You see, we are going to have, look at healthcare, look at education, look at employment opportunities for young people, and then of course raise the living standards of the people, quality of life of the people, and then ensure that we have policies in place that from now onwards we're going to at least increase the revenue of the state on our own, not depend on the central dole all the time. And Meghalaya has huge opportunities. We've already discussed that. We are going to come up with a manifesto to highlight all those policies that the government, if we are elected and be in the government, to implement.
Sir, if you can also tell us the vision for the state, like what is your vision for the state once you are elected? How do you see this?
You see, first is to ensure that we increase the literacy. Once you can increase the literacy rate, everything will be taken care of, so to say. You look at other states. For example, I can cite Kerala, where political parties, if they are in the government, have to be on their toes, because people are aware of the rights, are aware of the duties of the elected representatives. Whereas here, because I don't blame the people, because the literacy rate is slow, people can be fooled, just before election, be fooled by mere rhetoric, mere slogan. So that is, we're looking at that, and then ensure quality healthcare for the people, education, and opportunities for this is the vision of the state, and to take the state forward and ensure prosperity for all the residents of the state. That is our vision.
Also, sir, if you can tell us, what is the roadmap for your political party? How do you see yourself in the upcoming, 5 to 10 years?
You see, I think you will see not only in the state. You look at all over the country. You look at the Bharat Jodo Yatra of our leader Rahul Gandhi. Tremendous response, because people are fed up of this division on the religious line, linguistic lines, and so on and so forth. People are fed up. By nature, Indian people are very tolerant. Indian people are very helpful. So we don't need to divide the country. I mean, by dividing the country, what have we achieved? Look at this NDA government in the last 8 years. Highest unemployment rate now. Economically, some years back when UPA was in the government, when Congress was in the government, we were spoken in the international community, in the international fora, the same breath as China. Now India hardly gets a mention. So you can, similarly for the state, we are also going to do that. Ensure that Meghalaya in the committee of the states of the nation, is spoken the same breath, with respect. That yes, they're small state, tiny state, but then economically, politically, socially, we contribute to the welfare of the country as a whole. If Meghalaya improves, India improves. If Meghalaya, situation worsens, country also worsens, because we are a union of states. If one state does well, the country does well. One state or all the states don't do well, the country will not do well.
Even before the elections date were announced, most of the political parties in the state maintain that they won't go into pre-poll alliance with any party whatsoever. But post-poll alliance, are you open to aligning with a party, a like-minded parties?
You see, we'll cross the bridge when we come to that. Okay, but we are hopeful of the Congress getting crossing that magic number and form the government on our own.
Are you confident of crossing the magic number?
Yes, we are confident.
Many political analysts have said that money and politics will play a major role in this election, which is slated to happen in February 27. So what are your thoughts on that?
That is very sad. That is very sad, because I think even you in the media are aware that the state is going through a very, very bad economic situation. There's hardly any revenue worth talking of. generated by this government. So everything we're doing is on loan. In fact, Meghalaya has such huge potential to generate revenue from horticulture, agriculture, food processing, tourism, education. Huge potential. If, like I said earlier, if we had the right policies in place, supported with budgetary support, I mean, we can look at all these things maybe in a period of 5 to 10 years. Meghalaya can generate revenue. I'm talking about Goa. When I was chairman MTDC, that was in the in 2009-10, Goa was earning 10,000 crore annually from tourism. Kashmir is earning 10,000 crore from apple cultivation. Why can't we look at that? If we get that kind of money, then we can construct roads, hospitals, school, colleges. This is politics. That is what I understand politics is all about. It's not about distributing money to win election. Ultimately, if people accept money, they're only fooling themselves. They're only denying themselves the right, to prosperity. Unless you have the right policies in place, nothing is going to happen.
If you look at the different political parties, we can categorize them into national, regional, and this sort of a new party. So, who do you think has the edge in the upcoming elections?
I think people are going to vote for the National Party, and I think people are going to vote for the Indian National Congress, looking at the past performance, looking at, at every angle. You look economically, politically, socially. Congress was, performing much, much better in all these fields.
My final question to you, sir, is, anti-incumbency has been sort of a trend in the state. If you look at the recent past, anti-incumbency has been very strong especially for the ruling dispensation. So what are your thoughts on that?
Not only anti-incumbency, this is not the question of anti-incumbency. People are looking at misgovernance, misrule, and then the arrogance of this government, where, for example, you take this Gaming Act. Kasi Jayantiya Church Leaders Forum approached this government that, we're not in favor of this act. Please do away with it. The arrogance, they dare tell them that, we have scrapped this act. In fact, the minister in charge of taxation in the floor of the House, the Assembly, said that we've issued 3 licenses. Come on. You're not only lying to the common people, you are lying people, who hold very high respect in society. Church leaders. Even church leaders, they were, taken for a ride by this government. You don't own the state. So you are there for the people. When the people are not in favor of a certain law, certain policy, you should respect the feelings of the people. So we are not talking about anti-incumbency, we are talking about misgovernance, we are talking about misrule, we are talking about lawlessness here, we are talking about, practically, like they admit themselves. One of the members of the ruling alliance, regional party, said, we have a government, a coalition government that doesn't have even the common minimum program. So what are we talking about anti-incumbency? We are talking about this government, like a blind man walking in the dark. I would even go to that extent of saying this government is like a blind man, moving about in the dark. Because when you don't have a common minimum program, because I think the parties alliance, this government. So each party will have its own ideology, its own policy. But then when you come together, you must have a common minimum program, how to, serve the state, how to rule the state, how to deliver, the mandate that has been given to you.
So that was Mr. Ronnie V. Lingdo, the spokesperson of Indian National Congress. And we would like to thank you, sir, for joining us for this program.